Good evening, here are tonight's top stories. Police are currently investigating a fatal accident on the SK Linden Highway. A 22-year-old man has been remanded to prison for firearm possession, and a 23-year-old minor is also remanded for allegedly taking the life of another man. Mark Farrell and Nicholas Amario have been remanded on separate narcotics charges. An ECD woman was tragically killed in a motor lorry accident on Friday. A Venezuelan woman has recounted her horrific experience of kidnapping, robbery, and shooting in Guyana. Meanwhile, a 6-year-old boy who was shot in the head is undergoing his second surgery. Stay tuned for the details of these stories. Please remember to like, share and subscribe to our channel for more news.
Police investigating fatal accident on SK Linden Highway. Police are investigating a fatal accident that occurred at approximately 17:25 hours on Friday, July 12, 2024, at Kairuni on the SK/Linden Highway. The tragic incident claimed the lives of 59-year-old Carl Hunt and his 9-year-old grandson, Malik Roberts. The accident involved a lorry, registration number GAH 1532, driven by 26-year-old Sadio Persad from Ahayakoni, East Coast Demerara, and a motor car with trade plate BMS number 4, driven by Carl Hunt. Malik Roberts was a passenger in the car along with 2 other children, ages 12 and 10. Initial investigations revealed that the lorry was traveling north along the western side of the highway when the driver noticed the car approaching from the south at a high speed. The driver of the car allegedly lost control, veering into the western driving lane and into the path of the lorry. Both Carl Hunt and Malik Roberts succumbed to their injuries at the scene. The condition of the other 2 children who were in the car is not immediately known. The police are continuing their investigation to determine the exact circumstances leading to this tragic accident. Six-year-old shot in head undergoes second surgery. 6-year-old Jeremiah Gustav, who was shot in his head on Tuesday at Charles Street, Charlestown, remains on life support at the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, GPHC. His mother, Keisha Gustav, told Kaider News that the lad underwent a second surgery on Thursday as doctors try their best to stabilize his condition. The distraught mother told this publication that at the time of the incident, she heard sounds in the community, which she assumed were firecrackers. The woman was outside at her stall frying chips and chicken for her son when she heard the sounds coming from the bakery and soon realized that they were gunshots. The boy was discovered shot moments later. I turned to take out something from the fridge and then I started hearing him saying mommy, 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 so I say Mon, just now you'll get your thing, but something tell me to turn around and when I turn, there's when I see he head down with blood all over, the distraught mother recounted. Keisha said she learned that the shots were meant for a man by the name of a Crab. He was standing near the bakery when the suspect arrived on a motorcycle and started firing shots. The woman alleged that a Crab fired back shots in her direction and believes that it was a bullet from his gun that struck her child. Jeremiah was rushed to the hospital where he underwent emergency surgery on his arrival and was placed on a life support machine. His mother said that the doctors have given him 48 hours to show signs of improvement. Keisha said that she was later told that the doctors found a lot of tissues. They find a lot of fluid and a portion of blood clot to the side of his head, and water is draining out from his head, she told Kaider News while adding, presently, right now, he is still critical. He ain't catch himself to say he could do anything on his own, he remains unconscious. I am not getting any response from him. Meanwhile, police are still on the hunt for the suspects. Venezuelan woman recounts horrific kidnapping, robbery, and shooting in Guyana. A Venezuelan woman, Diana Danello, 29, recounted a horrifying ordeal where she was kidnapped, robbed, shot, and left for dead by a taxi driver on a rainy night in Diamond, East Bank Demerara, EBD. The incident occurred on April 10, and although 3 months have passed, the bullet remains lodged in her body. Danello, a mother of 1, shared her harrowing experience with Kaider News. According to her, she was robbed of $300,000 cash and an iPhone 15 Pro Max by the taxi driver, who she trusted. Despite providing detailed information to the Diamond police station, including the driver's number, a photo of his car, and his workplace, no arrest has been made. The suspect continues to work at a popular city hotel. Danilo revealed that the police were more interested in her personal life rather than the case itself, even attempting to blackmail her. This led her to flee Guyana and return to Venezuela out of fear for her life. She decided to publicize her story after hearing about the murder of another Venezuelan woman, Evelyn Alves, in Diamond. Recounting the night of April 10th. On the evening of April 10th, Danilo planned to party and left home with a significant amount of cash. She first stopped at a popular hotel for dinner and then left in the taxi driver's SUV. This was not her first time using the driver's services, as he was known for his professional demeanor. However, on this particular night, the driver turned into a monster. He kidnapped her at gunpoint, driving to a remote area in Diamond. There, he robbed her and attempted to shoot her multiple times, but the gun malfunctioned. He then tried to strangle her with a belt, but she fought back and managed to escape. Danilo ran into the pouring rain and hid in some bushes as the driver searched for her with a torchlight. She eventually sought help from a roadside vendor and a passing policeman, who took her to the Diamond police station and then to a hospital. Doctors found that a bullet had entered her arm and was lodged in her back, while she also sustained a fractured rib. Despite her detailed statement and the police's initial investigations, no progress was made on the case. Tired and fearful, Danilo returned to Venezuela. She later learned that the suspect had disappeared shortly after she made a Facebook post about her story. Kaider News contacted the police for an update, but calls and messages went unanswered. However, it was confirmed that the suspect, identified by Danilo, was still working at the city hotel but had not shown up for work for 2 days. His SUV was seen parked at the hotel, but his coworkers claimed ignorance of his whereabouts. A 22-year-old remanded to prison for firearm possession. Leon Moore, a 22-year-old porter from Phase 2 Farm, East Bank Demerara, was remanded to prison after he was found in possession of an illegal firearm and ammunition. The young man was arrested on Tuesday with the weapon and slapped with a possession of firearm and ammunition without license charge. The defendant appeared at Diamond Magistrates Court on Friday before His Worship Delon Bess, where he pleaded not guilty to the offense. He was remanded to prison and will return to court on July 19th. Nicholas Amario remanded for narcotics possession. Nicholas Amario, a 26-year-old from Hearst-Telling, East Bank Demerara, has been remanded to prison for possession of narcotics. Amario was arrested by a rank from the Providence police station with 252 grams of marijuana. On Friday, he was charged with the offense of possession of narcotics for the purpose of trafficking. The defendant appeared at the Diamond Magistrate Court before His Worship Delon Bess, where he pleaded not guilty and was remanded to prison. The next court date is July 26th. Mark Farrell remanded for narcotic charges. Mark Farrell, a 52-year-old ramp attendant of Trans-Guyana Airways at Ogle Airport and a resident of Pigeon Place, South Ruimveldt, Georgetown, was remanded to prison for narcotics trafficking. Farrell was arrested on Wednesday with 59.50 pounds of cannabis. He was charged on Friday with the offense of possession of narcotics for trafficking. The defendant appeared at the Sparendam Magistrate Court before Her Worship Russell Liverpool, where the charge was read to him. He pleaded guilty, but due to his explanation, the magistrate entered a not guilty plea. Farrell was remanded to prison until his next court appearance on August 6. ECD woman killed on Friday in motor lorry accident. An East Coast Demerara woman was killed on Friday after her motorcycle was hit by a motor lorry, which ended up running over her head. Dead is 52-year-old Limwati Lalji called Savita of Lot 202 Good Hope Housing Scheme, Phase 2, ECD. The accident occurred at about 14:23h on the Mon Repos Railway Embankment Road, ECD. At the time, the lorry was being driven by a 28-year-old resident of Great Diamond, East Bank Demerara. Based on police reports, Lalji was driving motorcycle, #CK6224, and was proceeding west along the southern corner of the Mon Repos Railway Embankment Road while the lorry was proceeding in the same direction behind the bike. As the lorry was in the process of overtaking the motorcycle, the left side tray of the lorry came into contact with the motorcycle. 23-year-old minor remanded for taking the life of another man. A 23-year-old minor has been remanded to prison for hacking another young man to death during a drunken row last week. Williams Andres Yugas Amutarain of Quartz Stone Back Dam, Cuyuni River, Region 7 Cuyuni Mazaruni, was charged on Thursday, July 11, 2024, with the murder of Adrian Williams, a 21-year-old minor and Venezuelan national of San Martin, Cuyuni River, and Quartz Stone Landing. Amutarain appeared at the Bartica Magistrate Court before Her Worship Faith McGusty. He was not required to plead to the charge and was remanded to prison. The matter was adjourned to August 9, 2024. Police had reported that on the evening of July 5, the two young men were imbibing at a shop in Quartz Stone Landing. Sometime after, the two men were involved in a scuffle and residents witnessed Amutarain standing over an injured Williams with a cutlass.